his love for the area, and his desire to get back into to pinstripes, to play in Yankee Stadium, to end his career there. And it looks like he's got a good possibility of that happening, Mark. And obviously he wouldn't be coming in at a starting role. He'd be backing up Steve Sax, who, as you know, had a huge contract extension a couple of months back. So
he invested a lot of money in Sax.
It's obvious that the Yanks' second baseman of the future is Sax. But Randolph, according to a couple of reports I read today, he has no problem with going into the season back with his old club as a reserve, and that's a veteran for you. You know, I mean, he realizes that he doesn't have all that much time left. He's an excellent ball player, 13 years with the Yanks, but he could do some good things for the Yanks. I think it'd be a good move.
Well, I think Willie Randolph has seen his better days.
No question.
There's no question that he can not unseat Steve Sax. As an insurance policy, though, you know, it's one thing. I think you have to build with youth. It takes away a roster spot from a young player, and you know, this year, you know, Mullins is just about ready, and with the emergence of Loritz and whatnot, you want to bring up some of your youth.
You mean Jim Loritz, who plays catcher and third base? Sure.
To bring back a guy like Willie Randolph could only help maybe a pennant contending team. I don't think they are a pennant contending team, and
well, you never know in the American League Least, which used to be the strongest division of baseball, now obviously one of the weaker ones. You bring up a good point. Team that's struggled like the Yankees have over the last 3, 4, 5 years. You want to go with youth. You know, let the young guys play, prove themselves, and start your team that way. Certainly, you want to build with youth, but you do need veterans. You need veteran leadership. Take a look at the Giants this year. They signed Dave Dewars, just to talk football for 2 seconds. They had a number of leaders that came forth. Parcells was asked to compare his '86 team with the '90 team in terms of leadership, and it wasn't that the leadership was any better, just that there were more veterans who took a leadership role, including Lawrence Taylor, who in '86 just went out and his sole interest was bashing a quarterback's face and removing his helmet and then going after his family. But then now it's, you know, he calmed down a bit, and he realized that, hey, the man actually had to play football because of slightly eroding skills, but he realized that the locker room was where he needed to exert himself. Willie Randolph, I mean, is he going to help the Yankees win a pennant? I doubt it, but it couldn't hurt.
Originally, good trivia question. What team did Randolph originally sign with and play for? Randolph, a guy out of Boys High in Brooklyn?
Tilden High School.
Tilden
High School. I played on that field as a high schooler, and I heard some great things. He had some wicked shots. It was right field was a real easy shot, but left field went on forever. And he had some rockets. I heard. I didn't see him play. It was a couple years before my time, but playing with Sean Dunston, that was fun. I played against.
Did you play with Sean?
Played against Sean Dunston a couple of times. Of course, he wouldn't remember me, but that's okay.
Must have had some hell of an arm, huh?
Well, the thing about Dunston in high school was that he was on, I mean, several levels above everybody else.
What high school did Dunston play?
Dunston went to Jefferson. He hit 750 his senior year. It's
unheard of.
The thing that impressed me most about him was I've never seen anyone hit a ball as hard as Sean Dunston did. Obviously, he's not a huge power hitter with the Chicago Cubs, but obviously high school and the pros, night and day, obviously. But great player.
Okay, we'd like to welcome anybody who's just tuning in to the Sports Trivia Challenge. Marc Wasserman and Howard Waterman. I'd like to remind you that the telephone numbers out there, 540-2580 if you'd like to talk to us, or if you have any sports trivia you'd like to stump us with. Tonight we have a couple of special prizes for you. We're giving away, as always, we give away a $25 gift certificate to Adventure Ski and Sporting Goods. 1106 Cortelia Road, home of Wayne and the Puppy, and a lot of good ski fashions and a lot of good sporting equipment and whatnot. And it is ski season, so they should get out there and make that phone call, 540-2580, and try to answer some of the trivia questions, which we will be posting shortly. But in the meantime, we're holding our open forum, so if you have any questions, sports related, trivia related, maybe you want sports information, The phone number is 1-900-988-1022 if you're calling from outside of New York City. I know that I'd like to say a special hello to some friends up in Mount Vernon. And why don't we just get right to the phones? Okay, let's go to... No?
Maybe not. Oh,
Hang up the phone.
was it something I said?
Anyway, the phone number again is 1-900-988-1022. We're having a couple of technical difficulties. Howie, going back to baseball, Yankees going for Willie Randolph.
Yes,
One
Marco.
question out there is, who did Willie Randolph originally play for and sign with? Randolph
Can I
out
answer
of
that?
Tilden. You would know.
I do know. I do know.
Since we're also talking about some athletes in Brooklyn, John Candelaria.
Never heard of him.
John Candelaria once went 20-5 for Pittsburgh in '77. Played with the New York Mets a little bit.
And the Yanks?
Played with the Yankees. Pitched pretty well. Wonder what he's doing this year. Team's in need of a left-handed relief pitcher.
Well, left-handed, as you know, left-handed pitching is at a premium. It always has been. And I don't know. Well, actually, the Candyman with the Yanks, he had knee problems, and he really didn't get a chance
Continuously.
didn't get a chance to show his stuff, so to speak, with the Yanks. But had a great career with the Pirates, and he used to kill the Mets. Oh, this guy used to kill
Left-handed
the
who
Mets.
ate left-handers up.
I just remember every time he'd pitch, it was like Mets lost. And there are a couple of them out there. It's interesting. For whatever
Met
reason.
killers.
Met killers, Yankee killers. But
Steve Carlton wasn't one of them.
no, even when the Mets were bad, that was the funny thing about Steve Carlton. As good as he was, and he'd always lose to the Mets. I mean, he had, I think, the game he hit the 19 strikeouts.
And he was the losing pitcher.
And Ron Sabota hit two earned home runs, and he lost 4-3. Or was it 2-1? I'm not sure the score actually, but I know that Swoboda killed him. And you strike out 19 batters, theoretically you should win the game, but not against the Mets, not for Carlton anyway.
Which brings back an interesting trivia question as far as strikeouts and whatnot. Who holds the current American League record for strikeouts in a 9-inning game?
In a 9-inning game.
In a 9-inning game. Now, we have a gift certificate for $10 to Herman's World of Sporting Goods to the first person that can answer the 2 trivia questions. Phone number is 540-2580, and if you can tell me, what team did Willie Randolph play for before the New York Yankees a couple of seasons back, and what team did he sign with, and if you can answer the last question. Oh, wait a minute, we have a bonus for you. We're going to go, matter of fact, let's throw up the question for Herman's right here. Who holds the National League record for consecutive game hitting streak? A. And whose record did he break? Now, this wasn't too long ago. This is something that happened in baseball. It was a pretty media publicized event. Who holds the Major League career pinch hit record? $10 gift certificate from Herman's World of Sporting Goods. Let's see if we can light those phone lines up and go for it.
And also, let's ask the viewers who they think is going to take it all. Will the Reds repeat? Certainly there's a lot of talk about repeating, the Niners three-peating, and how difficult it is for professional sports teams to win back-to-back championships. What do you think? The Reds have a shot with that bullpen, which is unbelievable. Just Dibble, Carton, and of course, ex-Met Randy Myers. Will they have a good year again? Will Eric Davis play well? And so on. Will the Oakland A's be back after losing the last 2 out of 3 World Series?
Wow, it's tough to come back on that.
Well, I mean,
Team chemistry, Canseco.
If anyone can, I would think the A's could. They're just up and down the lineup. They just have a tremendous amount of talent.
Well, we want to throw those questions back out for you. Up at stake is a $10 gift certificate to Herman's World of Sporting Goods. Herman's, located all through the Tri-County metro, all over the Tri-State area. Excuse me. Phone number is 540-2580, or if you're calling from outside the city, 1-900-988-1022. And we're going to throw those questions back out for you again. Who holds the Major League career pinch hit record, and whose record did he break? So if you can tell me that, $10 gift certificate from Herman's World of Sporting Goods can be yours. So 540-2580, that's what they have to call. Now, if they can stump us, Howie, if they can stump us, maybe what we can do is offer also another $10 gift certificate to Herman's World of Sporting Goods. But they have to stump us with a question. It has to be a legitimate question related to the world of sports. Please don't ask me who the roommate was of Ty Cobb back in his old days in Georgia. But something rather legitimate. And answer this one for a $10 gift certificate. Who holds the National League record for consecutive game hitting streak? Whose record did he break? Who holds the Major League career pinch hit record? So now, 540-2580, if they can answer those questions. Coming up a little bit later, we go for the big one. We go for the $25 gift certificate from Adventure Ski. But, Howie, let's go back to the hot stove again. New York Mets. Big things expected out of Darryl Strawberry, never materialized. He's in L.A. now.
That's debatable, actually. If you look at the numbers, and stats are basically what you make of them. If you look at the numbers, I mean, he's got several. He set several Met records. The Mets had for seven consecutive seasons they've won. I mean, they've had a winning record, which is second only to Toronto, who has 8. That might have been a trivia question right there. But he goes back home. Is he going to have a big year? I think so. He'll probably have a big year, and then you'll probably see the Darryl of old. And
well, actually,
next year or two, he'll have all sorts of problems. I'll throw this out. Chicago Cubs, 1991 World Champions.
Chicago
Cubs.
Oh no, the Chicago Cubs. Maybe when they decide to get a pitcher or something like that. Well, let's see. Let's go back out there. The trivia questions are. Let's bring them back out up on the screen. Now, if anybody can get that Willie Randolph question, we also have a $10 gift certificate. Willie Randolph played before the Yankees with what team? What team did he sign with and come up with? And the other trivia questions are, Mr. C, throw him up on the big screen, come on, if we can. Who holds the National League record for consecutive game hitting streak? Whose record did he break? Or if you can answer, who holds the Major League career pinch hitting record? And it's not an LA Dodger at that. So we're going to go to the telephones. Let's go.
Hello?
Hello, you're on Sports Trivia Challenge. Talk to me, caller. Where are you from?
Brooklyn.
Where in Brooklyn are you calling from?
Where in Brooklyn?
Where are you calling from in Brooklyn?
Rapper.
Okay, caller. Would you like to take a shot at the $10 gift certificate from Herman's?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, can you answer any one of those questions?
What was the first one?
Okay, Mr. C, can we bring it up there for our caller? Okay, the questions are, who holds the career pinch hit record?
It's that Baltimore Orioles guy.
Okay, or you can answer the question, who holds the consecutive game hitting streak record for the National League?
I think the pinch hit is Jim Dwyer.
That's a good guess. That's a very good guess. Jim Dwyer is still active also.
American League.
No, it's not Jim Dwyer. But Jim Dwyer does have more than 100 career pinch hits, and that puts him within the top 20. This player played a little bit of time ago and is known strictly for his pinch hitting abilities. Would you like to take a shot at the second question?
Hitting streak, National League.
The National League consecutive game hitting streak.
It has to be Rose, right? Pete Rose.
Very good. Now, part B. Tell me whose record he broke.
Whose record he broke?
Okay, back in 1978, Pete Rose did, in fact, break the National.
Is it that long ago already? Wow.
Ty Cobb.
Whoa. Very good guess. Very good guess. No, it was not Ty Cobb. No, it was not Ty Cobb. Caller, you have a question for us? I'm sorry that I can't give you the gift certificate, but would you have a caller, would you have a question that you would like to stump us with?
Yeah, what about the Willie Randolph question?
Sure.
Well,
do you know who he came up with?
Yeah, Pittsburgh, I believe, right?
That's right.
That's exactly right.
Came up with Pittsburgh back in '76 and went on to play for the Yankees. Very, very good. Caller, you're calling from Flatbush area?
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to thank you for calling. Take a shot again.
Hang on just one sec.
Yeah.
Who do you like this year to win it all in baseball?
In baseball?
Yep.
Baseball. Have to go with the Athletics.
How come?
Why? They're the best team all around.
Yeah, but they're gone to this World Series 3 years in a row. They lost twice. What makes you think they can come back?
Well, I just think they can come back. I don't see any other team. The Cubs look good, but they never win, so.
Yeah, but you see all the moves they made in the offseason?
Yeah, they picked up a lot of good players, George Bell and all that, but.
That's right. Danny Jackson, a
No, I'll
lefty
tell you
from
what.
the Reds.
Let's go with a long shot in the American League West, and let's try the Seattle Mariners. Let's try with the Mariners. Seattle Mariners, not the Brooklyn Mariners, but Seattle Mariners have top 4 good young starting pitchers. The emergence of Ken Griffey Jr., Greg Briley in the outfield, and Reynolds playing his 300 ways over at second base. I give them a pretty good shot. They've been up and coming the past couple of years. How do you feel about that?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, caller, I'd like to thank you for calling the Trivia
Can I try to
Challenge.
stump y'all?
Want to go one more?
Yeah.
Stump us.
Now there's basketball.
Okay.
Who is the Knicks record for most steals in the game?
Most steals in the game.
I would think Clyde.
Let me go with Sugar Ray Richardson.
That's a good guess, too.
No.
No?
Clyde Frazier?
No.
Okay, give me a year. Give me the year.
The year?
Yeah.
I'm not sure of the year, but it was recently, the mid-'80s. 87, 86. 80,
86, 87, 86.
Ross Strickland wasn't playing yet.
Got
He
me
was
on that one, caller.
In the mid-'80s.
very unknown player.
Trent.
Could be Sparrow.
Could be Trent. That's not a bad
Sparrow?
guess.
No, not Rory Sparrow.
I'm not gonna venture any further guesses. Tell me.
Chris McNeely.
Chris
McNeely?
Didn't he play some forward also?
Yeah, he's a forward.
Chris McNeely.
Haven't heard that guy's name
How
in a
many?
long time.
How many did he have in the game?
I'm not sure about it, but I read in the record, but I believe it was like 8.
8.
Not a bad game. What do you think of the Knicks this year? You think they're going to turn around in the second half?
No.
Why? How come?
Because they don't have the players. They have Ewing, and that's it.
So obviously they have to make a pretty major trade or two.
I
Who do you
believe so.
trade? If you're Al Bianchi, who do you trade? Who don't you trade, actually? Who do you trade?
You keep Tucker, you keep Vanderway.
Okay, caller, I'd like to thank you for calling. We're going to have to move on a little bit and throw those questions back out for the viewers. I'd like to say that it was an excellent guess on your answer, but Jim Dwyer is not the correct answer on who holds the career pinch hitting record. But it was a very good guess, and I believe Dwyer is still playing. But caller, thanks. I hope you call again and give it another shot next week. Okay. Okay, so let's go back to the questions. The $10 gift certificate for Herman's World of Sporting Goods is still up for grabs. Coming up pretty soon, we have another treat for you. For Sporting Goods Adventure Ski Shops on 1106 Cortellia Road, $25 gift certificate if you can answer the challenge. Now, the questions are out there. This caller did guess the Willie Randolph question, and there's 2 other questions that are out there for you. Who holds the career pinch hit record is still out for grabs, and who holds the consecutive game hitting streak for National Leaguers, and whose record did he break? $10 gift certificate to Herman's World of Sporting Goods. Howie, let's go back to the hot stove.
Sure.
Okay, now the New York Mets, a couple of big pickups, a lot of money blown around.
Sure, you got Vince Coleman. U.B. Brooks for Bobby Ojeda. Rick Cerrone, major acquisition.
Yeah, Rick Cerrone
He'll do
is
some
catching
serious
a little
damage,
bit of-
probably to his knees. I don't know about the Mets. I really don't. There's a whole bunch of uncertainty. You have a whole new identity. I mean, Darryl Strawberry was the Mets' identity for the last couple of years. Prior to that, you had Gary Carter and Keith Hernandez leading the way, and also you had Wally Backman and Len Dykstra in the championship year of '86, setting the tone both emotionally as well as getting on base and doing all the little things that you need to win. And the Mets had a lot of problems once those two guys left, and I still don't understand why the Mets traded Mookie Wilson and Len Dykstra in the same season and left them with no one defensively, and it was just terrible. And that's the major problem right now. Defense. They are not a good defensive team. Greg Jeffries is a pretty poor defensive player. Good hitter. Mentally, he has a lot of improvement to do. Howard Johnson at short, he certainly played stellar defense. He had a great couple of months at shortstop once Kevin Elster went down, but I don't know if having him there for the whole year is really the answer. Tommy Herr at second base, no range at all anymore. Excellent player at one point. Good pickup on the Mets' part late in the season when they needed a veteran, but I don't know. I mean, I think I'd rather see Timmy Tuffle playing second base. Really would, as opposed to Tommy Herr.
Not a bad
Give
hitter.
the guy a chance. He's
He's
an underrated player. He's worked really hard in the last couple of years to improve his defense. You got to give the guy a shot.
He is a pinch hitter and has been a pinch hitter. And there was another pinch hitter out there who, leading into the question, funny that you should mention one of our trivia questions. The phone number is 540-2580. 540-2580 here on TV 4454. You're watching WNYX, the Trivia Challenge. And for a $10 gift certificate to Herman's World of Sporting Goods, you must answer two questions. Who holds the all-time career pinch hit record? And who holds the record for most consecutive games hitting streak for a National Leaguer, and whose record did he break? Now, we're going to have coming up for you shortly, we're going to have the big question giveaway and the big bonanza, but first we must answer these two questions. Now, being that our topic tonight is baseball, you might want to try to stump us. We're not talking strictly about baseball, but if you have a football question, a basketball question, what we'll do is we'll go right into the bonus round. Okay, so now if they can come up with a legitimate question, two good legitimate questions that can stump us, then we'll give them a $10 gift certificate to Herman's World of Sporting Goods also. So with that, phone number is 540-2580, or if you're calling from outside of New York, 1-900-988-1022. And I'll tell you what, let's go for the big questions right here. Okay, for a $20 gift certificate to Adventure Ski and Sporting Goods, tell me the last American leaguer to field all 9 positions in a 9-inning game. Also, tell me who was New York Cosmos soccer team's first goaltender. This for a $20 gift certificate to Adventure Ski and Sporting Goods on 1106 Cortellia Road in Brooklyn. We're going back a little bit with the Cosmos. Remember them out at Giant Stadium? Quite a while.
Beckenbauer, Pele, Giorgio Canaglia, they had some really big names.
Bogachevic.
Gesundheit. They really had, they had a good team back then, but the unfortunate problem with the Cosmos and the other teams in the
league folded.
In the NASL was simply no one cared. Americans don't care about soccer. They just don't. For a million reasons. I think one of them is that it's there's not much scoring. I think the Americans like the faster game. Although, for example, basketball. Although baseball certainly, that isn't exactly a very fast-paced sport, but it is an American sport.
Soccer just has not caught on. However, out around the country, a lot of the kids play soccer.
True.
But maybe you'll see a changing of the generation. You might see a changing of sports trends. Right now, soccer is just not known here in America as being one of the big major sports on a competitive level. The World Cup brought a little bit of attention, and back in 77, 76 and whatnot, the NASL had its heyday. They were drawing 77,000. I mean, I guess there is a market out there, and the Cosmos were an integral part of the early success of the NASL. They brought in many major stars from all around. One of them, Pele, brought in from Brazil. He was one of the greatest players known to the world at the time, sort of the equivalent back then of what Rossi would be. They had a couple of other good players, some forwards and whatnot, and they also had a goaltender who was American. This goaltender is the basis of our trivia question. So answer, tell me who was the Cosmos' very first goaltender. The phone number is 540-2588, 540-2588. Up for grabs is the $20 gift certificate to Adventure Ski and Sporting Goods. But you got to answer those questions, and they're not easy. But if you can stump us with 2 good questions tonight, $10 gift certificate to Herman's World of Sporting Goods. 2 good legitimate questions. We had one caller calling before who asked us who held the Knicks single season or single game assist record, saying Chris McNeely.
Steal record, not assist.
Steal record. And Chris McNeely with 8. I don't know. I find it rather hard to believe that Nick hasn't broken that record or surpassed that record.
Think about that. 8 steals in one game. That is...
When a guy like Richardson would average 3.5. Back in 78.
Well, that's over double what someone like Richardson or, 8, that's a lot. I mean, just think about it. It's a lot. That's hard defense. That's really just good. It's reading the offense well. That's just one heck of a night. Mm-hmm. I was surprised. I think you had a real good guess, Michael Ray Richardson. I'm surprised that it wasn't him or Clyde Frazier. Both excellent defensive ball players.
Richardson
lightning
currently
quick.
Playing in Italy.
Lightning quick. That first step of Sugar Ray was fantastic. A good playmaker, excellent defensive ball player.
Do you know where Richardson came out of college?
University of Minnesota.
If any of our callers out there can tell us what college Michael Ray Richardson came out of, please stump the panel over here. 2 questions right, $10 gift certificate. 2, Herman's World of Sporting Goods. I'd like to throw those questions out to you. A $20 gift certificate to Adventure Ski and Sporting Good. We have a phone caller on the line. Caller, you're live.
I am. How you doing?
Hey, what's going on?
How you doing?
Yeah, okay. I think I got the answer to the questions.
Okay, which questions you going for, caller?
I think I'm going first for the one to play all 9 positions.
Okay.
I think that was Cesar Tovar.
Okay, can you give me the year on that?
I think it was either 1967.
Okay, the year is wrong. Give me a shot on the other one.
Was the goalie Shep Messing?
Yes, it was.
Oh, that's right.
Yes,
Shep
it was.
Messing.
Caller, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Brighton Beach in Brooklyn.
Brighton Beach. Well, you won the $20 gift certificate to Adventure Ski and Sporting Goods. I'll tell you what.
Can I take a try at the other questions?
Well, we can only give away 1 prize on the show.
Okay. I don't want to be greedy then.
No, I'll tell you what, caller. I'd like to.
I know it's not for a prize, but I think I know the answer to the Michael Ray Richardson. I think he went to the University of Montana.
University of Montana, up in Butte, Montana.
Was it Montana?
Yes, it was. I was a big Michael Ray Richardson fan, so I know that.
Now, Richardson came out of Montana. He was a 2nd-round draft pick. Am I correct?
No, I think it was number 1.
First rounder.
First rounder.
Number 1 draft pick?
Yes,
Absolutely.
he was.
When did they get Williams?
The year before,
Where'd they get him from?
University of Minnesota.
Oh, that's who. Okay. I guess I was thinking right away.
In fact, he played with Kevin McHale at the University of Minnesota.
That I didn't know.
Yeah, he did.
Did he have a good college career, Ray Williams? He must have.
I really don't know. I really don't know. I really don't.
Cole, I'd like to take you back to baseball for a second.
I'll try.
All right, the Cesar Tovar question. At the time, I believe it was 1971, he was playing with Minnesota at the time, and he did get into 9 innings. Do you remember? He did play all 9 positions in 9 innings.
I know who the first guy was. It was Bert Campaneris.
Bert Campaneris. Do you remember the name of the team?
Well, was it the Kansas City A's?
That's right. Kansas City A's back in '65.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. I believe that was his first year in the league,
Right.
if I'm not mistaken on that.
Yeah.
Went on to play with the Oakland A's a little bit later on, and had that tremendous World Series back in '72.
Right. I remember that. I also remember when he threw the bat at Lauren LeGros, the pitcher.
Excuse me?
He threw the bat at one of the pitchers from Detroit in the playoffs. Was it in the playoffs? He threw the bat at somebody.
Okay, can you tell me what team and who he threw it at?
And it was at Lauren LeGros with the Detroit Tigers.
Right, 1972 ALCS, I believe.
That's right.
Okay, let's see if I can throw something out to you. Throw a little baseball question.
I'll try.
Okay, who won the Triple Crown back in '69?
Was it 69? It wasn't 69. Wasn't it 60?
1970, pardon me.
Wasn't 1970 either. It was 19.
Yes.
The last one to do it was
68.
1967. It was Carl Yastrzemski.
Got me. Got my
Cardinals,
tongue-
yes.
It was yes.
Didn't he have like a 302 batting average?
It was the lowest batting average. No, that was the year after. That was 68. When he had the lowest batting average, it was 301. He won the batting title.
301 with 44 homers.
In fact, that's funny because the Triple Crown was won 2 years in a row. Because in '66, Frank Robinson did it with the Baltimore Orioles.
That's right.
Now there's a good trivia question.
Now, what, he did it with the Orioles, and he did it with another team also, didn't he?
Well, no, he was the only one to win the MVP in both leagues.
So, let me see. He won it with Cincinnati and won it with the Orioles.
That's right.
Okay, what year did he win it with Cincinnati?
I think it was 61.
Back in '61.
Yeah.
Question, you want to throw out another trivia question, or can we nail you with one?
I'll try to nail me with one.
All right, come on. How about baseball?
I'll try it.
Okay.
You want me to give you one on
Yeah,
baseball?
give me a baseball.
Okay. You guys familiar with the '69 Mets, I assume?
Vaguely.
Okay. In '69, there were 2 games near the end of the season that the Mets played against Pittsburgh. They were both 1-0 games. Two starting pitchers drove in the only run in both games. Can you name them?
One of them being Gentry.
No.
Well, it's only a matter of like 1 or 2 other guesses then. Kuzman was one, no?
That's correct.
Remember this one was off the Met album, too.
I'm going to throw out,
Don
Matlack?
Caldwell.
You got it. You got it.
Don Caldwell.
You got it.
Didn't he hit a home run?
No, they were both singles.
2 singles.
Yeah.
Don Caldwell. Okay, now, and I guess also with the '69 Mets, can you tell me, name 4 of their outfielders? Very, very easy.
Well, Tommy Agee, of course. Ron Swoboda. Art Shamsky.
Good.
And one more, right?
left fielder.
Oh, Cleon Jones, of course.
There you go.
Okay, Gad, name me another backup. Name me 2 more backups.
Well, I really don't know. I know most of the team, but I know it's hard. It's hard because most of the guys I still remember the infielders.
Sure.
Who was your favorite Met in the lean years? They had a lot of...
Well, of course, Naz, because he's a local kid.
True. But they had a lot of, maybe a couple years before Maz, they had a lot of guys with great names.
Well, Don Hahn, of course. That's one of the bigger names.
Sure.
Dave Schneck.
Dave Schneck. That guy's neck was like this big.
Yeah.
Okay? It was like, it was as if someone took his head and pushed it down. And
Right, you got
it
it.
came out his neck. And of course, George Theodore.
George Theodore Stork.
The Stork.
Yeah.
Del Unser a little bit.
Well, that's not a real name, you know. You're talking about names. I mean, of course I remember from the lean years.
Okay.
And lean they were.
Do you follow any hockey at all?
Okay, I'm not really. You know, I'm not really a big hockey fan.
Okay, but you're more of a basketball fan.
Yeah, basketball and baseball are really my 2.
And you're a Knick fan.
Yeah.
Player with the longest consecutive game played streak.
Well, for a Knick,
No, for anybody. Former Knick.
I don't know. That I don't know.
Buffalo area native.
Oh, Randy
Yeah,
Smith.
very good. Very good. Randy Smith came to the Knicks known for his 3-point shot. I
Yeah,
guess.
but he was kind of washed up when he came to the Knicks.
Okay, caller, I'd like you to hold on to the line and talk
Okay.
with my producer inside. The phone number is 540-2580, Sports Trivia Challenge. We have some other questions that are still up for grabs as long as a gift certificate for Herman's World of Sporting Goods. Our caller, your name is?
Excuse me?
Your name is, caller?
My name is Scott.
Scott?
Yeah.
Scott from Brighton Beach, taking home that gift certificate to Adventure Ski and Sporting Goods. When you go in, tell Wayne that you saw his advertisement on TV 4454.
Okay.
Okay. Caller, want to throw out any more questions to us? Because I have a couple for you.
I don't really have, and that's something I got to think of over a period of time. I mean, you could try phoning me. I'll try to stump you guys next week, maybe.
Fine.
Well, let's ask you this.
Okay.
You're Al Bianchi.
Well,
What do you do?
First of all, if I'm Nick Management, Al Bianchi's gone.
Okay.
I mean,
Hypothetic-
that's plain and simple.
All right, let's assume for the time being that you're Al Bianchi and not Jack Diller.
Yeah.
What do you do? What can you do?
There's nothing. There's nothing really he can do because the only marketable player is your franchise player, and that's Ewing. And otherwise, there's nobody else on that team that's tradable.
Would you trade Ewing?
No. I try to, I don't know. I really don't know. I really don't know. What can you might get some for you. You probably get a lot for Ewing, obviously, but I don't know if I trade him.
Well, obviously, the school of thought in hoops used to be, and I guess it still prevails to a certain extent, is you have a superior big man, you win championships.
Well, I don't think that's the truth anymore.
But
I think the trend now is you got to have an outstanding point guard. And I think that if you look at the successful teams in the league now, that they all have outstanding point guards. And I think that's the big thing now.
certainly Kevin Johnson with Phoenix,
Or Kevin Porter with
Porter with Portland. Who's going to stop them?
I mean he's out now, but look at Detroit with Isaiah Thomas.
True. You can't knock someone who leads his team to 3 consecutive NBA Finals, winning the last 2.
That's true.
And
Magic Johnson, obviously.
That goes without saying.
Yeah.
Larry Bird finished?
He's the only, Larry Bird now is still better than a hell of a lot of ball players around. So, and it's obvious to see that with him being out, Boston's the mediocre ball club.
You think Boston's mediocre?
Without him, they are.
They've really taken a beating once he's gone down.
Without him, they are. It's obvious.
They have to have one of the top front lines of all time.
No, they're probably the best in the history of the game.
You're just unbelievable. Parrish is, I think, very underrated.
Well, I think he always has been, because I think, now, especially with the 3 top big men in Ewing, Olajuwon, and Robinson, he's put off in the corner now.
And he still runs the floor like nobody's business, and he gives Ewing fits.
Oh, he's the one.
He gives Ewing fits.
He does. And, Ewing has success against the other 2 guys, but Parrish is the one guy that always has given them fits.
He's a great player. Obviously, McHale Bird goes without saying.
Oh, of course. That might be the greatest front line in the history of basketball.
Can't argue with you there. They're certainly one of the top 4.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Caller, I'd like to throw some questions out. Thank you for calling. Hold on the line.
Okay, I will.
And I appreciate if you give us a call again next week and give it a shot again.
That's right.
Took home a $20 gift certificate from Adventure Ski and Sporting Goods. We're going to throw out another set of questions for another gift certificate. Who holds the National League record for consecutive games, hitting streak? Whose record did he break? Howie?
Question number 2. Who holds the Major League career pinch hitting mark? And the winner, if you can answer both those questions successfully, you win a $10 gift certificate to Herman's World of Sporting Goods.
Okay, we just gave away that last gift certificate here on the Trivia Challenge. Gentleman from Brighton Beach taking home the prize, and those questions are up for grabs. Now, I'll also throw out a bonus. If you can call me and try to stump successfully twice, Howie and myself, you can take home a $10 gift certificate also. Phone number is 540-2580. And Howie, I'll tell you what.
What's that, Mark?
Consecutive game streak. Randy Smith out of Buffalo. Picked that up pretty quickly. Very intelligent phone call.
Yeah, we appreciate Scott calling. We hope he calls next week, and we encourage everyone to call and get involved in the discussion, because where else are you going to be able to just chat like this on a Monday evening?
540-2580. Those questions again are: who holds the National League record for career pinch hits, National League record for consecutive game hitting streak, and whose record did he break? Also, who holds the record for most career pinch hits? $10 gift certificate from Herman's World of Sporting Goods, and if you can stump us, you can also, if you do it twice, you can also get a $10 gift certificate for Herman's World of Sporting Goods. And as we said, and we're going away for anybody to call in and give us that stumping question, Howie, we go back to spring training, we go back to Major League Baseball. Mets picking up a guy like Coleman, stolen base king. Give him about another 4 years or so. He will be up there running against Ty Cobb's old record, Lou Brock's old record. Ricky Henderson breaking the record as it is now. But when Lou Brock broke his stolen base record back in 1978. He beat an old National Leaguer. Can you tell me who that National Leaguer was? Whose record he broke for stolen bases?
The National League that Lou
Right.
Brock.
That Lou Brock broke
Record that he shattered?
938 stolen bases. Brock, back in 78. Great year for him. He hit 304 and whatnot. He broke an old National Leaguer's record.
An old
One, where he surpassed it. And he also beat an American Leaguer's record. The American Leaguer having career 892.
I know one of them was Ty Cobb.
Okay, one of them was Ty Cobb, with 892 stolen bases. Who was the National Leaguer who he surpassed at that time? So Lou Brock.
Phil Rotundi?
Phil Rotundi. I don't know.
No, I'm sorry. Think of something else.
Now, we
That's
have
a
those
good question.
questions that are out there for our viewers. If they can stump us with two, they can take home that gift certificate. Picking up a guy like Vince Coleman. First of all, Shea Stadium, natural grass. Vince Coleman used to hitting on the artificial turf. Vince Coleman, a bunter, a slap hitter. Darryl Strawberry, man, he's inevitably going to be replacing because, they lose an outfielder, they pick up an outfielder. Both have big contracts.
You can't compare the two of them, though, because they play two distinctly different types of games.
From second place to third place this year.
I don't know. I mean, it's possible that they can do well. Whenever a team has a starting pitching like the Mets do, and they have arguably one of the best staffs in the league, particularly if they stay healthy, their problem isn't pitching. Their problem is defense and run production. I mean, even when the Mets went on that tear in June and July, when Darryl had his one hot streak for the year, but it usually makes a huge difference.
The God-fearing Darryl.
No.
Again, Darryl.
I don't know. I mean, they got really hot and they just burned out, and they have a real hard time pushing runs across the plate. Will Vince Coleman help? I think he will. I think that you bring up a good point.
It's a New York reincarnation of Omar Marino out there.
He's a better ball player than Omar Marino ever was.
Let's automatically.
But I mean, he's defensively mediocre. And if he plays center field, you're talking about a position that he hasn't played. If he played professionally, very few games. He always played in left field. William McGee was in center for the majority of his career. But natural grass, that will maybe he might get
40 points maybe off the average.
I don't know about that, but the fact is, when you slap the ball on the natural on the AstroTurf, it does obviously it's a lot quicker, it's a lot slicker surface. He's a very good offensive player. He's a threat. If nothing else, the Mets are happy to have him, so they don't have to deal with him because they just couldn't throw him out. Finally, I think Mackey Sasser threw him out for the first time in the history.
How many
in his
tries?
career.
40 some odd tries.
I think it was over 60. I think it was more like 55 to 60, 57, I think actually. Is it a new dimension? I don't know. I mean, it's one player. Obviously, he's the only leadoff hitter really that the Mets have had. They've been ever since they got rid of Dykstra and Mookie. They really haven't had a leadoff hitter, a true one anyway. And that he will give them that. He will give them offense. He will give them stolen bases, and they will be able to steal some runs, score some runs without a hit, which was like pulling teeth the last year or two when Darryl wasn't getting the big hit. And obviously, you could talk all you want about whether Darryl Strawberry was worth staying. I mean, he's a great ball player. Mentally, you could make some arguments. Defensively, you could make some arguments against him. But I don't know if Hubie Brooks and Vince Coleman are the answer. But you're talking about a whole new identity with the Mets, a whole new identity, and it should be really interesting to see how they play. I mean, they're going to get pitching. Defense is really going to hurt them, I think. Jeffries in third.
Howard Johnson at short. Elston might be gone.
Short. I read today that the Mets are thinking of trading Kevin Elston on a package deal to Texas. Wouldn't that be interesting? I honestly don't remember the players involved. One of them was a shortstop from the Texas Rangers.
Bring in Franco.
But you have guys like John Franco who, low ball pitchers who really they live. The guy makes his bread and butter on the ground balls, and Jeffries and Hojo on the left side of the infield. What do you think?
Okay, you got to give us a call. Voice your opinion here on Sports Trivia. We threw out a whole series of questions for them out there. So far, we've given away a $25 gift certificate, or excuse me, a $20 gift certificate to Adventure Ski and Sporting Goods Shop, 1106 Cortellia Road in Brooklyn. Fine sporting goods there, and one lucky caller from Brighton Beach is going to go on a little shopping spree, Howie. We have some more questions out there. 540-2580, the questions are, who holds the National League record for most consecutive game hitting streak, and whose record did he break? And who holds the Major League record for most career pinch hits? And so far, I don't think anybody can do it. So what we're doing is giving them a second chance to make a little bit of money.
We're certainly trying. Just going back for a second, Pete Rose was the correct answer for one of those trivia questions.
That's
However,
right.
the caller was not able to answer the player whose record was broken for the consecutive game hitting streak. I believe it was 44, by the way.
That's correct. 44-game hitting streak was the National League record, and he did break
Second only to
somebody's.
whom?
Second only to whom?
That's the second. That's
Former New York player.
well, I mean, obviously
So
Rose
who
has
holds-
the National League. But
Who holds the
the
American
all-time?
League?
The all-time.
The all-time American League. A record I don't
American
think it
League
would be broken. This player hit in 56 consecutive games back in, I don't even want to give the time span, but he was a New York player. 56-game hitting streak.
Suffice it to say, it was before he was selling coffee. Leave it at that.
Well, he made his home on the Bowery, so to speak, right? Had a gorgeous
Correct,
wife,
yes.
didn't he? Gorgeous wife.
Yeah, he was married to Marilyn Monroe. Tough break, tough break.
Anyway, the questions are out there for a gift certificate to Herman's World of Sporting Goods, and the bonus is, if you can give us 2 trivia questions and stump us, the trivia experts out here,
Stump and Stumpy.
if you can stump us with your 2 questions, you can take home that gift certificate. Phone numbers, if you're calling from outside of New York City, is 900-988-1022, and if you're calling from within the New York City area, 540-2580, $10 gift certificate to Herman's World of Sporting Goods, which has fine locations throughout the tri-state area. And going back, let's go back to the National League East. Mets 3rd place this year. Top team, Howie, you go with the Cubs.
Chicago Cubs, most improved. George Bell is going to have the year of his life, the year of our lives.
Pickup, a Dominican ball player.
Danny Jackson is going to solidify their porous starting rotation. Rick
Left-hander,
Sutcliffe's going to come
no
back and
wins.
surprise everyone and have a good year and stay healthy.
What year did he win that Cy Young?
Who, Ricky?
Ricky
The Rick Meister?
Sutcliffe. He won it 1 year before Gooden, I believe. He won a Cy Young.
84, wasn't it?
Yeah, 1984
Gooden
Cy
was in
Young
85.
award.
Yeah, he had a great year for the Cubs in 85.
What was his record? I'd like to throw that out there. I remember there was one particular stretch where
He go like 10-0, 12-0, something like that. He won
but his
number
record
of
was an
consecutive.
outstanding record that year. He was a hell of a pitcher. Hurt his arm. Rick Sutcliffe, can you tell me his record in his Cy Young award-winning 84 season? The gift certificate is still up for grabs. You have 5 minutes left to make your phone calls and give it a shot, so to speak. So maybe we can throw those questions out to you another time. Who was the National League consecutive game hitting streak? I guess Pete Rose is the answer. Pete Rose was the National League hitting streak, consecutive game hitting streak leader. Whose record did he break? Also, who holds a career record for pinch hits in a career? 540-2580. If you're calling from outside of New York, 1-900-988-1022. Chicago Cubs, I don't know.
Chicago Cubs.
Well, I don't know. Danny Jackson doesn't really impress
1991
me. After
world champ.
he did undergo surgery after that 22-7 year that he had, and just hasn't looked as sharp since, and has been sort of delegated to spot starting with Cincinnati. Maybe a new lease of life in Chicago can turn it around for him. Top quality lefty.
Well, it happened to after he signed with the Reds as a free agent from Kansas City. He really had a great year. Won 20 games in the National League before he hurt himself, and he had a rough time of it last year. But American League, Kansas City Royals will win the pennant. They will bounce back from their terrible year.
Bo with Kansas City?
Bo knows championship. Okay, Bo knows championship in Kansas City.
Okay, let's go to the phone lines. We have a caller on here.
Hello.
Caller, you're talking to me over TV 44. Yes, you're on the air.
Yeah, I'd like to try the question for the Major League consecutive game hitting streak, which was Pete Rose, and the record he broke was Tommy Helms.
Tommy Helms?
Tommy, come back on that.
What's
Whose
that?
record did he break?
Can you repeat that, please?
Tommy Helms?
The Cincinnati Reds second baseman?
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, that's not the correct answer. But you are close. You are close. Caller, where are you calling from?
Inwood.
From Inwood, Long Island. I'm watching over TV 44, I do believe, right?
Right.
Okay, do you have a question for us? Maybe you can stump us with 2 trivia questions?
Yeah. By the way, those questions out there are pretty tough. Most of them before my time.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, caller, if you can give it a shot again next week.
But I got a question. Maybe I can try to stump you on.
Sounds good.
Go ahead.
All right. It's like a 2-part question. Who is the only 2 baseball players to have their numbers retired on 2 different teams?
Okay, I can give you one of the 2.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna go Casey Stengel as one, with the
Right.
Mets and the Yankees.
That's correct.
Good one.
How you want to? Let's see if we can give a shot on that second one.
Hank Aaron?
Yeah, you got it.
Big time. Caller, thank you for calling. Let's go over to another caller. Caller, you. Whoa, excuse me. Do we have any? We have another caller on the line? You have another caller?
Nope, no call.
Okay. Okay, the answer that was given to us was Tommy Helms, the second baseman of the Cincinnati Reds. That is an incorrect answer. Tommy Helms, though I believe was a good second baseman, played with Houston also for a period of time.
That's his problem.
And caller, throwing out a pretty damn good question,
Which we got?
which of course the experts have pulled away. The question.
That was a good question.
Yeah,
That
excellent
was
question.
Casey Stengel was a really good answer. We implore you to call us.
Now we got to throw those questions back out. They're still up for grabs. Okay, we got a caller. Caller, you're on the Trivia Challenge. Come back.
I got cut off before here.
I'm sorry.
I wanted to try to one more question because it got my curiosity going about the pinch hit.
Okay.
I'm just going to take a wild guess and say Lou Piniella.
It's a good guess.
But
I'll tell you what. I want you to think a little bit. Piniella, when did he start pinch hitting?
in 78, I believe.
Okay. Wrapped up his career about when?
Between 80 and 82.
Okay, so, well, I believe he wrapped up, I guess in what, the 84 season, the 83 season, I believe.
Early 80s.
Right.
Definitely early 80s.
So there was a period of about 5 years. Assuming that he averages about 10 pinch hits a year, I don't think he'd be sort of even close.
No.
But I'll tell you what, it's a good shot and it's a good guess. Piniella doing very well with Cincinnati as a manager. A good pinch hitter. But it's not the correct answer. However, there was a player who played with the Dodgers, Manny Mota, who was a pinch hitter for quite a while. I know that he was pinch hitting for about 14 years, and he still doesn't even own the record. We have to go back a couple of years to find the answer on that one. Cole, do you have another question?
That's it. I'm going to call you guys back next week to try to be a little more on top of my game here.
How do you like the show?
Well, I caught some of it last week. You know, I found it pretty interesting because I'm a big baseball and football fan. You know.
So would you like to hear? You'd like to hear some more baseball, huh?
You know, baseball and a little more football because I played some high school football.
For whom? Who'd you play for?
I played for St. Agnes.
Did you happen to catch any of the Mariners broadcast earlier in the year?
Yeah, I caught some of those semi-pro games.
You did. What'd you
Yeah.
think of those?
From the couple I seen, it was some were pretty good. Like when I saw Edwin went into playoffs,
Did you?
and it seemed pretty competitive. For the level that they're at. But like I said, I only caught 2-3 games towards the end there.
Well, I'd like to really thank you for calling, and I hope you call again next week, the Trivia
Yeah, we'll try
Challenge.
to get you guys.
And try to stump us next week, will you please?
Yeah, I will.
Thank you, sir.
All right,
Thanks for
take it
calling.
Okay, that wraps up this week's, this week's Trivia Challenge. I'm Marc Wasserman along with Howard Waterman, and we'll see you again very, very soon. Thank you.
My name is Michelle Starr. 540-2580 is the number to call, and I will help you with your future, your career, any question you have about your life that you're interested in finding out about. I'm an astrologer, and therefore the map of the horoscope, that's when my psychic comes in, because I am a psychic. And what that means is when I see the map of your horoscope,